We've got a little snack here. Sometimes, you just got to go simple. Got some chorizo, some Hungarian pick salami, some celery, some cream cheese, and some kimchi. Gotta love some kimchi, right? What kind of kimchi do you like? I've got a bit of a cold, so excuse me. Do you like the kind of kimchi that's really fermented, very sour, very like deeply fermented, that you've sort of lost any of the cabbagey taste and it's just really richly, broken down with all of that bacterial action? Or do you prefer kimchi that's a bit lighter, a bit fresher? I like both. Depends on, what you're pairing it with. But if I'm going to be pairing it just with some sausages here or some salami, I like to go simple, a bit fresher. It has more of a feels like a vegetable rather than a condiment. Really good. Wow. Got quite a lot of sweetness coming through. Like sweetness with the chili. Hold on. Told you I had a cold. I wasn't lying. Got a cold and that chili went straight through me and I shouldn't really be doing this, should I? So, think about other people. Use the other side of the chopsticks. Put it on the plate. Okay. Yeah, really nice kimchi. Sweet, but not too sugared. Salty, but not over the top because the salami and the chorizo is going to do that. A good level of crunch, but still enough little floppy, thin bits of cabbage that have really soaked up that fermentation, or soaked up all the spices and become more fermented. Yummy. Right. The end bits of salami. When you start a salami, it's like, oh yeah. And you get sort of about halfway, you're like, I'm done. Not halfway just for me, but with everybody. Then you're like, I'm done. And then it sits in your fridge wrapped up in foil. And now I can hear people writing on the keyboard. You shouldn't keep salami in the fridge. Okay, so tell me how I should keep my salami. I'm all ears, okay? I'm sure it's got to be somewhere cool, but sort of enough of an oxygen flow, etc. I'm guessing. I should know that. I was actually thinking of buying a charcuterie, starting my own charcuterie fridge. And I did start the research on that, a fridge, but you create you use a fridge to create a charcuterie chamber. A lot like people use fridges for making puer tea cake storage. What do they call them? Pomodors. And so I should know about the storage conditions for the salami. So what I do is I normally just sort of wrap it loosely in foil and I'll put it in a cool place, but the only cool place I've got is my fridge. So I know it's probably not the best environment. Anyway, but when you get to that point, it's just nobody touches it. It feels like it's an old salami. You don't want to look at it. And I feel bad. It's this is still good salami. And this is Pick, which is the most ubiquitous Hungarian brand. I know it's just you see it everywhere, but it just hits the spot, man. Look at the even amount of fat to meat running through it. It's really, really great texture. Hard enough. I don't like salamis that are too wet. So it's got to have a little bit of stiffness about it. But at the same time, it still has the moistness when you bite into it, and then all that fat explosion in your mouth. Bam. Rich, nutty, salty, so creamy with the fat. just covers your whole mouth with this luxurious, salty, fatty, yeah, slightly nutty, but it's not like Iberico ham, you know, which has that acorn taste. The nut is more like a fermented cashew. So good. With some kimchi. Works a treat. I like the insides of celery. I like to pull this part out of the middle because this has got so much flavor and it's just got that younger, more tender quality. And it doesn't really work so well in cooking, so I use the edge bits. I still eat the edge bits raw, but I use the edge bits more for the cooking. And these delicate little leaves, these little crunchy leaves, makes me feel like a rabbit. Goes in, has a bit of the old cream cheese, and have a bit more of that picked salami. How's everybody doing out there? I have nothing planned about what I'm going to say. I just thought I would eat with you. I need to plan a trip to northern Italy with my sister. We're going to go and explore the food there. You've got Parma, you've got Bologna, you've got Parma ham, you've got Parmesan from Emilia-Romagna, you've got, I think it's Emilia-Romagna, you've got Modena, so you've got the balsamic vinegar, you've got Bologna, so you've got like pasta and bolognese, and they're all right next to each other. I was looking at the map, I was going, why have I not visited this area? So that has to change. So I'm planning to go to Bologna and then have a little food tour for a few days. If any of you know any recommendations, or know people who might know recommendations, or know channels that you recommend, you trust their taste, hook me up, man. Hook me up. Right. This again is a chorizo that was sitting in the fridge for too long. I feel bad for it. So I'm using my Samaritan nature to make an excuse for eating. This is harder, but I do love saucisson and salamis that have that chew. Totally different. The meat is more chewy, more cured. The fat is not evenly spread out. It's like bigger globs. So you hit the fat part, right? It's an explosion of fat in your mouth. Texturally so different. Salty, paprika, red pepper, loads of red pepper. What's your favorite charcuterie? That's an interesting question. I would like to know an answer to. What is your favorite charcuterie? Man, I mean, for me, like, I know it's just staid and boring and everyone will say it, but Iberico ham, like a good, proper jamon de bellota, a proper, fully acorn ham is amazing. In Portugal, they have something similar, black pig, which was pretty close. And I remember being quite like, whoa, this is nearly the same as Iberico. Hold on. I gotta go up and see my daughter. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, what is your favorite charcuterie? Let me think. So Iberico bellota is great. I love a really good mangalitsa kolbasz, or even a venison kolbasz. Kolbasz is one of the great, like, you know, one of the things, the reason I keep on going about Hungarian food, apart from having a Hungarian girlfriend in the past, who, you know, I've talked about before and is a bit of a feeder, or we shared a lot of foodie moments, is that I feel like the Hungarians do food and drink in such an amazing way, and yet their cuisine is like not talked about enough. Like, for example, you know, put aside the ethical side of foie gras, you know, if that is something that you don't want to talk about, or if something that you feel strongly about, I understand. But compare foie gras, which is all talked about in France, and then Hungarian foie gras. It's like, excuse me, it's just as good, if not better. Kolbasz is just as good, if not better, than chorizo. I'm sure there's a lot of people shaking their heads. You know, they have a sort of lardo there, which is just as good as like an Italian lardo. In fact, I've had amazing charcuterie there. But yeah, the homemade village kolbasz, amazing. Italians do it great, of course, with the prosciutto. A bit too wet for me. Prosciutto is always a bit, it's like, yeah, that's an example. It's a bit too, like, wet. The French with their saucissons, I like. Very nutty, very sort of rustic, especially if it's one that's a bit, you know, harder like this. I don't, again, like too bendy saucissons. And, you know, you get the ones with hazelnuts, and it's nice, and I like them. They have a very particular saucisson taste, which is great. But I don't think that it beats the iberico ham or the Hungarian charcuterie. Yunnan in China, they do cured meats, they do hams, which is not that great, but you know, it's all right. It's not on the same level, in my opinion, compared to the European countries. I don't know, is there charcuterie in the States that we need to talk about? Probably. There's charcuterie everywhere, you'd expect, right? Now I'm like, my tired brain is trying to scroll through. This is the problem. If I don't research what I'm talking about, I've got nothing to say about it because I can't remember. But if I started going on Wikipedia now, or like looking up charcuterie of the world, I probably could get some inspiration of like, oh, that. But do I want to go on my phone? No, not really, I don't. So why don't we just continue this conversation later? Tell me your favorite charcuterie. Educate me and anyone else reading the comments. I'm really tempted to go and refresh my memory on charcuterie. But anyway, this is really lovely. Delightful little platter. Sometimes the most unassuming things in your fridge can give you the most amount of joy. A little bit of kimchi cream cheese. Kimchi cream cheese is great, but you want like the more strongly fermented stuff. Then you whiz it up and you mix it with kimchi, spread it. It's great, like that spicy, because the spice and the salt and the ferment adds the umami, right? So you get that extra sort of umami quality to it. Kimchi mayonnaise. It's a bit overdone these days, but it is good. Kimchi is a great ingredient. I should make my own kimchi. I should make my own charcuterie. I should make my own kimchi. I guess you wouldn't put blood sausages into charcuterie, so we'll leave that aside. Like the morcilla, the black puddings, loads of different countries have their own like version of blood sausage as well, isn't it? In China, they've got those sort of, they look like cubes of tofu, but they're coagulated blood. I realise that this is not the subject matter for a lot of people. A lot of people are going, stop talking about blood. But you know, I talk about all food on this channel. Everything. I will. Let's see what AI does. Come on, speak to me.
Hi there. How are you doing today? Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Can you give me a list of the top 20 charcuteries of the world according to common consensus? You're not listening to me. You see? What, do I have to push the button? Unbelievable. Give me a list of the top 20 charcuteries of the world by common consensus.
It's tricky to give a definitive top 20 inches list of charcuterie,
non-committal AI.
as taste is subjective, and there are so many amazing varieties around the world. However, based on popularity, tradition, and quality, here are 20 charcuterie.
Shush. All right, so prosciutto di Parma. So, yeah, good. I like Parma ham. Sure. It's a bit drier. Then the prosciutto di San Daniele. Yeah, I love San Daniele ham. True. Milano salami. Yes, I like it. Bit too wet for me, but I like it. Mortadella. Ah, man, you know what? Let's talk about mortadella. I like it. Yeah, piled high in one of those Italian Florence-style sandwiches. I'm down with little pistachios and the fat bits. But does it really have a strong enough taste? Or is it like charcuterie light? I wouldn't even call it charcuterie, isn't it? It's just cooked, right? Doesn't charcuterie kind of need to be cured? Anyway, it's a bit beige, mortadella. And that's what makes it good. It means you can stuff a sandwich full. It's not going to be overpowering. You can have all those layers of, frilly meats in your sandwich. I get it, but I don't think it's top 20 at all. Coppa, yeah, sure. Dried pork neck. I do like coppa. It's become very sort of fashionable to see that in a restaurant, coppa, and they serve you like 3 slices for like £10, and you're like, seriously? That pig neck was expensive. Iberico ham, definitely. Chorizo, yes. Salchichon, okay, yeah. Again, isn't that? Yeah, that is cured. Okay. Lomo, cured. Yeah, Lomo's a bit lean for me, bit lean. From France, pâté de campagne. Oh, yeah, no. I don't like charcuterie that is a bit too spready. I mean, not that I don't like it. It's just, it's not up there with the best for me. And the ones that just have a bit too much of the sort of, what is that? There's a weird mishmash of gristle and fat and meat. And I get that some people love that stuff and they love the textural kind of craziness of the jelliedness and the chewiness and, but I'm not so into that. Rillette, yeah, Rillette's nice. Kind of like, I just have a little association with sort of, it is a bit cat food-like, but I like it. Saucisson sec, great, love it, dry cured. Andouillette, okay, so they're sausage made with pork chitterlings. No, isn't andouillette blood sausage? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, bratwurst in Germany, that's grilled. I don't call this charcuterie. Leberkäse, the baked meatloaf dish, I like it, but yeah. Speck, Italy. Biltong, yeah, okay, biltong. Kielbasa, Poland, yes, nice. Kind of a childhoody one, those small little kielbasa you just chew on. Pepperoni, States, pepperoni. Soppressata, dry cured sausage, often spicy. Now note, no mention of any Hungarian charcuterie. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Give me a list of Hungarian charcuterie.
Hungary has a rich tradition of charcuterie, with many delicious and unique products. Here are some of the most popular and well-regarded Hungarian charcuterie items.
Okay, so kolbasz, different types of kolbasz, with finely ground sausage, with very paprika heavy. Lecco, man, a sausage flavored with lecco, a traditional Hungarian vegetable stew. I love lecco. It's one of the only dishes that I really love that has like peppers in it. Again, kolbasz. Salona. That's it, salona. I'm butchering it, but that's the lardo version, salona. Man, just like cut that thin with some bread and some onions. You are like heaven. That's heaven. Sonka, the ham. Tarja, the cured pork neck. Anyway, pig salami. They've included this. Nice. Goose liver pate. Again, the foie gras there is something special. UK has got some charcuterie. Give me a list of UK charcuterie. This will be the last one, I promise. Hello? Are you listening? Yeah. Give me...
Yes,
Yeah.
I am listening. I am always...
Okay. Give me a list of UK charcuterie, traditional.
While the term charcuterie often evokes images of French or Italian cured meats, the UK...
Okay, so black pudding, again, I don't know if I'd class it as that. Haggis. Haggis is great. Get a good haggis. There's something magical about a great haggis. And I think it's, obviously it's a bit controversial with what's in it and some people just get a bit squeamish, but have a good haggis. 2 ways for me. Number one, just neeps and tatties and a good dousing of whiskey over the top. Like that is just like revelatory when I've had that first neeps, tatties, haggis with whiskey. The whiskey just sets it off. Just so warming, it's amazing. Or cut it like a thick slice, like a black pudding, fry it in a pan, put it on top of a piece of toast with a bit of brown sauce underneath, and then a fried duck egg on the top. Breakfast of champions. I think they serve that at the Wolseley. So good. Ham, potted meats, so again, chitterlings, pig's intestines, faggots, meatballs made from the offcuts, offals, sausages, lots of sausages, and brawn, a type of meat jelly made from the head. So tête de veau, head meat, all the head meats. Again, I'm not a huge head meat fan, but I can partake. Anyway, this turned into the charcuterie session. Charcuterie and kimchi. Let me know your favorite charcuterie so I can go and explore. And let me know any recommendations you have for Northern Italy food stops. Cheers.